Good day to you. Halo, halo. You got a halo. Did you know? I say halo instead of hello. I say hola. Listen to a little bit of Terrence McKenna. I tell you what, I should have been going to Terrence McKenna seminars instead of Sri Gary Olson. Okay. Interesting tangent. This is Green Day, right? You can see that. It's this little Bluetooth, and it's supposedly a slurry, right? A Slurpee, whatever you call it. It's green. It's green. Soylent Green. Huh? I'll be damned. Mm-hmm. Let me read the... Hello. Hey, Don. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I wanted to speak on... let me turn up the brightness. Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about my dad's funeral. There was none. And everyone was so concerned with, his friend showed up when he was on his deathbed, and he grew a lot of cannabis. And they were interested in that, and getting freebies, cannabis, truffles. But no one contacted me, none of his friends, so-called friends. Even this preacher that came out said some words for my dad on his deathbed, and same thing. He didn't contact me. And, the truffles keep telling me every time that life is not, what are we living for is a question that I pose a lot, and the truffles answer, and what we're living for a lot of times is what someone else is living for. Terrence McKenna said, he's having conversations with the truffles, with the mushrooms, and the mushroom would say, if you must have a plan, or you'll become part of someone else's plan. So you got to have a plan, and most people are just concerned about material stuff themselves. And funerals, nothing sacred anymore. They're just interested in what you have. Like Winston Rodney Burning Spear says, I want to be known for what I am, not what I have. But anyway, that's it. That's it for the live. Just wanted to say real quick, especially in America, it's all about the hustle and the fussle and the bustle. Everyone's in a big hurry, this and that. No one has time for the sick or the dying or the wounded. Look around. You know what I'm saying? Look around. And people will be recording you dying. 90% of the time, they'll be recording you dying and suffering instead of getting involved. So, and I know the Truffles told me over and over, you get what you give. So that's it. And life is more important than sitting around arguing about trite stuff. Life is about living, taking in the moment, and developing your plan in life, and then honoring that, And who cares what other people say? I'm not talking about being a heathen, a demon. I'm not talking about that. But most people are so concerned with, it's like back in high school. Most people are so concerned about being right about stuff that, the answers to are, it's just a hypothesis. You know what I mean? It's just a hypothesis. So people arguing that about religion, this and that. People arguing about, a failed government system that has failed us for eons. The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again when you're getting the same result. You know what I mean? If it doesn't work. But then again, a lot of people think I'm insane. But that's fine because I have a few good friends and I know where my place is in life. And finally, just relaxing, because there's no need to worry about trying to fit in. I no longer worry about people, what they think about my art. My life. You know what I mean? All that judgment. A lot of times, when you bring close friends in your life, you bring judges as well. And they're always going to judge you, and they'll never understand what you went through. And it's always easy for someone to say, everyone has a hard time, they'll say, and they won't come back and say, oh, yeah, everything you went through, I went through it exactly the same thing. That's impossible. So it's good to be alone, and it's good to be different, and it's good to finally realize this puzzle my whole life where I never thought I'd fit in because I don't fit in. And it's great. And that's why, you know, I no longer worry about people inviting me for, I'll be going to the church for Thanksgiving and Christmas, my good friend James, but no longer worry about all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because life is about you and your plan. And if you're constantly part of someone else's plan, never question what they believe in, then you're going to be at your funeral. And most people don't even care. Even your children won't care, most of them. So we're in a very cold-hearted world. And now I know that all I have is myself and my creator, because you know what I mean? So it's okay that, I'm semi-retired. No one's around to judge me or critique me or my music, my art, none of that, really. A true friend will always support you, especially when you're in your darkest times and you need help. But that's it. Everyone have a great day. God bless.